What's up, guys? It's your boy Marc Proctor, aka Doc Proc, here to discover tips, tricks, and motivation to help get you through the rest of your working week. So tell me something. Can you really relate to a 7th or 8th grader? And what can a 7th and 8th grade teacher really teach you about yourself or about learning? On today's episode, I caught up with a French immersion teacher who's been teaching for 5 years, 7th and 8th graders. We talked about what it is, how it is, and why it is that kids at that age seem to learn a lot faster, pick up things a lot quicker, and are more adept and more open to learning. So stay locked in to hear some of the fundamentals of learning that teachers are using today that can help you learn more faster on episode 15 of #Wisdom Wednesdays.
No.
Do you think that individuals have like one learning style? Do you think that they tap into different learning styles depending on the subject or depending on the demand of the information that they need to retain?
Yeah.
Like, how does that work?
So, for example, at the beginning of the year, we do what's called a student profile. And part of the question you ask is like, what type of learner is that student? And it's funny because you'll ask like, how do you learn best to a student? They're like, I don't know. Like they never know. Maybe hands-on, and they'll list all of them. Maybe from reading, maybe from touching things, maybe from listening, and they like list all of them. But I think that they list all of them because you're not just one type of learner. Maybe you're best at learning in one way, but you also learn in these different avenues. Depending on the activity is how you learn best. So for example, I keep using the long division. They learn best from our auditory song and then putting it to practice. Or like if you're studying science, they found that like through stories, like if I was storytelling about like a scientist, that they understood that better. Or I find that a lot of learning comes from when you draw parallels to somebody's own life. So if you're like trying to learn, for example, about adding decimals or subtracting decimals, multiplying decimals, I do it in a way that we play the game of life. And they go around and they choose, okay, this is the house I want to live in, this is the car I want to have, this is the vacation I want. But then they have to like add it all up, multiply the tax onto it. And because it seems relevant and authentic to their life, they're learning it in a fun way. And I find that when you apply your learning to some interests of your student, that's how they learn the best.
So how do you think an adult can sort of break down ways that they can learn to understand, hey, maybe me listening to audiobooks is not helping. Maybe me actually highlighting a book that I've been reading on the GO train for a month is actually not working. Like, how do you think an adult can take those lessons that you teach the kids and apply it to them now?
I find that when I'm teaching the kids, they're more open to trying different things, whether it be because I'm telling them to do it as the teacher or because they actually find the joy in it. But I find that when it comes to adults, they already know it. They already know how they learn best. But when you ask them, they can't really come up with a good answer or good examples. I think that for adults, that they're very closed-minded. I know that's probably not good to say, but I find that they, like I said, they already know it all. They don't want to find something new tricks to learn different things. And so I think that it really comes down to, for an adult, interest. What are they interested in? Also, if it's going to benefit them. I find that adults are, why am I going to do this if it doesn't benefit me, if I'm not going to get anything out of it? So if you can show them the target goal and how it's eventually going to benefit them, that they'll find whatever means it is to learn. Think about when you have a baby. You're there reading all the books, but maybe you're not taking it all in. You're there trying to learn. But if you're going through all these books and one saying this, one saying this, one saying this, and then you have your baby and it's through the experience and then picking up things that you've noticed with your kid, how it benefits them from this key information. So then it's like retracting information. And sometimes it's the experience that works best for adults. Or I find that the best way of learning, and I kid you not, is when kids, adults alike, make mistakes and they won't want to repeat that mistake. And like, okay, how do I make sure that I don't let that happen again? And that's how they learn. And I tell my kids that all the time. And even like as an adult, I got caught speeding one time from the light. And now I know, because I paid $100, I'm going to learn from that experience. Or even like feeling included. I feel like people learn because they want, or adults because they want to feel part of a group. Or if you're thinking of like a book club, so that I can participate in the conversation, I need to learn this. And so then I feel like something in them changes. Whereas if I'm reading a book, not for anything in particular, maybe I'm not taking in as much.
Storytelling, making parallels to your own life, using songs, or even drawings. These are some of the ways that kids today are learning. But the key factor is they're open-minded. They're willing to experiment. They're not rigid and set in stone like some adults. So ask yourself, when was the last time you tried something new or tried doing something differently? The last time you made a mistake, or the last time you successfully connected your intrinsic with your extrinsic motivations. So my message for today, guys, narrow down how you learn best, but be unbiased and actively experiment so that you can really figure out what methods of learning truly suit you best. Marc Proctor, out.